Hello everyone. We just wanted to make a little short film because this has taken about 3 weeks to film the material for this video where we're doing these different cubes, drilling, tapping holes, showing automatic tapping head. And one of the things that has taken place in here just in the last week that I just definitely wanted to make known was I noticed that our YouTube subscribers was going up, and then there's a few guys that came over to the site and said that they were sent to our site by Tom Lipton. And so I looked and I saw Tom Lipton had a new video out, and I haven't seen that one yet, so I watched it, and he gave us a real nice shout out there. And I think from that time, it's been about a week till now. I think we had roughly 600 new subscribers, so I want to welcome all the new subscribers on board, and again, just give Tom Lipton a big thank you for giving us a shout out. I got to meet him at Bar Z Summer Bash 2018 in Southern California, and got to spend not a lot of time, but a little bit, just be able to meet him in person, shake his hand, and then as a group of guys there, there was a lot of corresponding as a group went on, and so you get to know the guy a little bit. And so anyways, it was a pleasure meeting him. And again, Tom, thanks for the shout out. And for the new subscribers, we just have a small machine shop. My son owns it. I'm the hired help. And one of the things that we're wanting to do over here is just show some of the things that I've had over 40 years of experience in the field. It's not necessarily that it's the best way that we do things or the only way, but there's some things I do, and one of the things I see in the comment sections a lot is, well, if you have a lathe, why aren't you using this? Or if you have a jig grinder, why aren't you using this? Well, we'll do jig grind work. The lathe we have is a loaned out one. It's in bad condition, and we do a little simple things on there. But I know a lot of our viewers, they have a mill, or they have a lathe, or a surface grinder, or just a few pieces of equipment. So one of the things that we like to do sometimes when we do a video, and we're doing, say, like lathe work on the mill, or jig grind work on the surface grinder, it's not saying that this is a better way, but this is just showing options for any of you guys out there that think, oh man, it'd be nice if I had a lathe and I just got this mill, how can I get this done? And so you can actually do a lot of neat stuff there, or with one of these other machines. And so anyways, we just hope you enjoy your time. We hope that you benefit. We hope that you find some of the material that's valuable. One of the main things, I'm in the process of trying to train my children and getting them and trying to get as much of the skills that I have learned over this career, trying to get that to them in as short of time as I can. And because I do have a full-time job, I'm a father and a husband, I got to fix things around the house, a lot of other responsibilities. I get about 10 to 15 hours a week at the most that I can dedicate here. What we're going to have, though, I got 16 days in a row around the Christmas holiday that I get off, so we're going to be able to have a fun time out here and focus, and hopefully we can catch up with a lot of our projects there. But just stay tuned. We got a lot of neat things that are coming up. So hope you enjoy this video. We got to the stage now on the squaring blocks. When we got all the holes drilled, I chamfered them on these 3 blocks. This block I haven't chamfered yet. We're going to show that in this video. What we did, we had another piece of DC-53, and we had this machine squared along, maybe a year or so ago. We were using it. We made it so that we got half 13 holes that can go down, and that'll fit in the T-slots in the mill, and so you can bolt it down and use it on the mill. And we had a project, and that's why you got some of the hose that are off a little bit different, is because of the fact the part that we're mounting on there had a particular hole pattern, and so we had to be careful where we put our quarter 20s. We can probably actually slide one in there. We'll probably do that, get as many as we can. But then we got the side hose, and of course the pattern was different here from what we originally were using it for, and so we added these ones in. But anyways, we started out drilling these, and the first block took a little bit of time because we'd get about 30-40 holes, and we'd have to take and resharpen the drill because it wasn't maintaining the size on the holes, and the drill would get dull. And it was just a normal cheap drill. Needed a little bit more tool or pressure on the quill in order to get that to cut good. Anyways, I went down to our local supply house here in Holland, Michigan, Lamb's Industrial Supply. It's kind of nice when you need something right away. They're 10 minutes away. They do carry some nice products over there, and so they've been a big help in the past. But I went down there and asked them if they had a little bit better quality drills than what I was using, and they set me up with a Norseman drill. And it's a gold black, just a high-speed steel. We'll do a close-up picture here on the point, just some still pictures so you can see how nice that point is. And that point, having a lot of relief on the cutting edges right there. This drill required probably about half the force for cutting. And this drill is .204. It's I believe number 6. Yes, it's a number 6 drill, which is .204, and this thing really cut close on its size. I got a 204 pin right here. You can see that goes all the way down. There's no shake at all. And here's a 205, and it barely goes down 1/8 of an inch or so. So we drilled with this drill. We drilled one of these blocks, or at least most of it. Actually, I think we drilled all that and all this. It was a total of 235 holes that we drilled with this drill, and all the holes were over 1 inch deep. This block, they were 1.2 inches deep. This block, they were 1 inch deep. And we didn't resharpen the drill. We didn't replace it, even though I bought 4 of them. They were only a couple dollars a piece. We're able to shave from that first drill we're using about 2 hours off each block just in drilling, because we didn't have to resharpen the drill. We could drill faster. This drill was an awesome drill. I've never used them before. It's a Norseman. Can you see that in the picture there, Kat? Now this is a packet. It says 1/4, but it was an empty packet that he had, so he put the drills in there. But the actual drill size is a number 4, which is 204. What I'll be doing in the future, I really liked how those drills performed. The price was really good. As I need to replace my other drills, I'll definitely be replacing them with these drills right here. So anyhow, I'm going to set up and get ready to chamfer this last block, and then we'll come back when I'm set up for that. We're going to chamfer these hoses, and what I'm going to use, you won't be able to see it in the picture, but we got the adjustable quill stop that most mills have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that quill depth on the first hole there and get it sized, just eyeball it to where it will work good. And then what we'll do from there with that stop set is to make all the chamfers nice and uniform, give it a nice professional look. And one of the reasons that you want, well, there's many reasons you want to chamfer these holes. One, if you leave them straight like this and you tap, you can easily break when you're putting screws in and out, and if they're not in deep enough, you can actually easily break these the threads out because they're weak. So when you chamfer a hole, one of the things it does, it makes for a strong thread in the lead in it. It just strengthens everything in there. Two, what it does is as you put that in there, if you send these up for heat treat and they bang around a little bit and there's no chamfer on there, a lot of times that will get dinged up, and because there's no strength, and now you've got a tapped hole that you can't get a screw in because that first thread is messed up. So basically it gives you a nice lead in for your screws, and it protects that top part of the surface so it doesn't get damaged in any of the other processing. So what we'll do is we'll get this set, and this chamfer will self-center. And right now I'm just trying to get the size set with my stop, and that looks like a pretty good chamfer. So what will happen is I'll be able to float this chamfer around, or the block, and the chamfer will center the hole. It'll be nice and uniform. Okay, we have all these holes chamfered. All of these will be tapped for 1/4 20. You'll notice that the middle hole is not chamfered, and that one is right in the center of the block, and with that hole it's not going to be tapped. That's a clearance hole for, in this case, a 6mm, and the other screw, socket head cap screw, it's counterbore on the other side. The other blocks are for 1/4 20, and I'll show you just a couple of the uses that you can have for that here in just a moment. But now, if I try to chamfer this hole's a lot bigger, so I'm going to have to just adjust my stop a little bit more and go down. And so all the holes on that side are chamfered. And now we'll have to set up, readjust our stop, and we'll get the holes on this in. Now we have all the holes on the top chamfered, all the holes over here chamfered, and earlier I chamfered the counterbore for the 6mm there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you into the other room by the granite. I'll demonstrate one of the uses that I'll use this hole for quite often, and there's many things you can do with it, but this will be one that I use quite a bit. Okay, this is just going to be a demonstration. Sometimes you get a part like this arbor, and again it's just demonstration. I got a 1/4 20 hole on the bottom. This surface is nice and flat. Well, if you wanted to make this surface nice and flat with it, well, if you just set this on the magnet on the surface grinder and want to grind, a lot of times it will be kind of tricky. You can't take big cuts. It's going to want to get knocked over, get flinged off the grinder. Or if you would make it out of aluminum and you got this edge real nice and you'd want to set it up, grind the two surfaces, you can. And this, if you got oddball shapes like this, you know, it's going to be with this 2 different size diameters. You can hold it in a V-block like this and get one side, but to come in a V-block like that, to get this in, if you don't have a gooseneck V-block, it would be very difficult. So anyhow, this is where this comes in handy. You can take a socket head cap screw, pop it in from the back side there, and then you can just snug her down real good, and this is good and solid. We'll kick over here to the surface grinder and we'll just take a little bit off. Yeah, so now we got this on the surface grinder. This is DC53. It's holding on the grinder real nice. You got that tap screw in there. It works real good. And I had this preset, so I just wound down 1/1000. is not really singing. It sounds pretty good. Take another towel. So you have that set up. What's nice about this, if you have some blocks and you grind to a certain distance, you can always set stops up over here that this comes at 2 points. Push that in there and locate it real good. Have this right up against the back rail and it'll work really nice. I've used this setup for doing a lot of stuff at my full-time job. It worked really nice. Some blocks I have just for that will have multiple holes. This only has one. But if you make a block and you do that with 4 or 5 holes in there, you've got these small parts. You can set up 4 or 5 of them at a time. And when you grind them, if your magnet's flat, your block's good and flat, what will happen is you'll end up with you know, however many you got in there, the sizes will be pretty close to being exact. And so it's just nice for holding awkward parts, or if they're non-magnetic parts that you want to grind, and it does have a tap toe on the bottom, it works pretty good. We have the automatic tapping head set up right now. This is going to make it real nice for doing this block. One of the things that happens when you use an automatic tap head and you reverse it, a lot of times it wants to lift the block up. So I just got this little set up using some of the tap toes I got in there. There's only about 1/1000th clearance in there, so it won't let that block lift up. We got the clutch handle over here to be hitting into this solid piece right here. And what I'll do is I'll be moving the block in and out to get the different holes. I edge found from the back side here when it's tight to get my location on my hole. I got my digital set at 0, and what I'll do is I'll move every time I need. I'll just move a 1/2 inch over to get to the next set of holes. And this automatic tap head, it's set with a clutch package in it so that you can set the tension on here. And what happens is it should stop spinning before the tap breaks if everything is set proper and everything's working good. I already oiled up a number of the holes on there, and I did the first hole to set the clutch package, and let's just see what happens here. I might have to make some adjustments as we go, but we're using an OSG High Pro 7 tap. It's a semi-bottoming tap. Some of the best taps I've ever used. These are H5. I believe it's about 1/1000th over your H3 class, which is mostly are the ones that are mostly sold. I'll tell you what, it's hard to beat a tapping head when you have a lot of holes like this to tap. If you would set up and just move your table to 1/2 inch spacing, it would take 10 times longer than what we're doing over here. There you have it. We've already done 30, I think roughly 30, 28, 30 holes. We'll come back when we're finished with this, and then we'll go from there. We'll set it up, do the top holes after this.